back to Cleats and Convos presented by State Farm. Don't settle for any insurance. We're State Farm. I would like to introduce former Heisman quarterback, winner, and Pro Bowler RG3. What's happening, my guy?
What's up, brother? I'm doing good. Appreciate you having me on the show.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you joining. We're going to start the show off with a little game called Press or Release. Press meaning false, release meaning true.
You got it.
You were born in Japan.
Release.
Do you remember anything from living there?
I don't. I was 2.5 when we moved out of there. So my parents said I was running around a bunch and tried to jump off one of the military boats into the ocean. So thankfully they caught me.
Nah, you was a wild little 2-year-old already.
Oh my goodness, you have no idea.
Nah, for sure. Second one, basketball was your second best sport in high school. You was a tri-sport athlete in high school, football, track, and basketball.
That is release. Yeah.
Did you ever want to pursue track?
I did. Actually, no, a lot of people don't know this, but I actually ran track in college before I ever played football. So I graduated early and then ran track in the spring. I won the Big 12 championships, won regionals, and got third at nationals. Went to the Olympic trials in 2008 and got 11th at the Olympic trials as an 18-year-old. So I definitely thought about it.
Okay. What you ran?
I ran the 400 hurdles. I'm actually the fastest 17-year-old ever in the history of the world in the 400 hurdles. Ran 49:21.
Hey, we got to pull that up. In the world. Yeah, all right. We got 2 more for you. Press or release. Your favorite superhero is Spider-Man.
That's a press. My favorite superhero is the Incredible Hulk, and I've been very upset with Marvel that they made him look so weak against Thanos, just getting tossed around like crazy. So my favorite superhero is the Hulk.
You're a Marvel movie guy, huh?
Yeah, man. I think me and you, we should get a role in Marvel. We need some more black superheroes. You feel me? I'm saying Deebo Samuel,
I feel you. Yes, sir.
I think that'd be fun.
That'll be lit up for sure. Press release. You were recruited by Texas to play wideout.
That is a release. They offered me as an athlete, wide receiver or safety. And then, little known fact, Mac Brown, after my freshman year when we played them at Texas, walked to me in the middle of the field and offered me a scholarship to transfer to Texas. This is before the transfer portal, Deebo. So he wanted me to sit out 2 years and come to Texas and be his quarterback after he saw us play. But, we decided to just go ahead and beat their butt for the next couple of years at Baylor.
What made you choose Baylor?
It was faith. My mom, I'm a Christian. My mom wanted me to go to Baylor. It was closer to home, about an hour away. But ultimately, I was offered a walk-on scholarship by Baylor as a 4-star recruit by Guy Morris, rest his soul, passed away recently. So I committed to Houston. I was going to play basketball, run track, and play football. And then Art Browse, my coach, got the job at Baylor, took me from Houston with him to Baylor, and the rest is history.
Definitely the rest is history.
That was his recruiting pitch, Deebo. His recruiting pitch was, you're going to come to Baylor, and we're going to do something that's never been done before. And he said in 4 years, in 3 years, you're going to be in the running for the Heisman. And he was spot on. In 3 years, we were. And in the 4th year, we won it.
Had a good team out there. Who were some teammates you played with?
You already know all these awards don't come by themselves. So wide receiver, I had Kendall Wright. He was a first-round pick, for the Tennessee Titans. Yeah. I've never seen a guy run better when the ball is in the air, kind of like you. Like when the ball's in the air, you find a way to get there regardless of what your 40 time is.
Different type of speed, huh?
Yeah, different type of speed. So I had him. I had Terrence Williams as a receiver for the Cowboys. He's a 3rd-round pick. I had Josh Gordon. I know you remember that guy.
Sure.
So we had Josh as a freshman, and he was unbelievable. He ended up getting kicked out for the same reasons he got kicked out of the league as a freshman from Baylor. Imagine smoking weed and doing all that stuff at a Christian university. They frown upon those things. So we had some great players. I had some great offensive linemen. Danny Watkins was a Canadian who played football for 2 years, ended up being a first-round pick guard for the Eagles. Jason Smith was the second pick overall by the Rams after my freshman year at Baylor. So we had some ballers, man. We had some guys.
Yeah, for sure. Now we're going to play another game called Guess the Performance. We're going to show you a picture of your game cleats, and you're going to have to guess the stat line.
Okay.
And if you can't guess the stat line, I have 3 hints for you that can help.
Okay. I can use the context clues. That's against the Cowboys. Dang. I don't even know a stat line. I mean, 2 touchdowns.
I got some hints. I got some hints for you.
Okay, give me some hints.
All right, game was played 3 days after Christmas.
Okay.
Career high in passing yards in a game.
Career high in passing yards in a game. Okay, so
opposing
337,
336.
Okay, that's close. 336. All right. Quarterback was golly. Was it Tony Romo?
Yeah, that was one of your hints. We was trying to help you get your passing yards, touchdowns, and interceptions.
Yeah, that's bad. See the career high, the passing yards with the 2 picks. I hate that. That's why
Put a touchdown pass. We good.
How you say
it? Yeah, we good. What was it like playing against the Cowboys back in the day? We saying back in the day, 30 years ago.
I know, bro, but it feels like forever ago. This 2025, that's 11 years ago. The Cowboys at the time was the Redskins, now it's the Commanders. It's like one of the greatest rivalries in all of sports. So, like, when you step foot into that, you already know, like, there's nothing like Cowboy Week when you play for the Commanders. And I know you felt that, since you've been there as well. The fans, you could win, you could lose every game. If you beat the Cowboys twice, they might be happy. Now, you might not be happy, but the fans are going to be like, yes, we got one on them.
For sure. What do you remember playing against that defense with DeMarcus Lawrence?
Yeah, I mean, I think that year DeMarcus Lawrence was there, so I don't think DeMarcus Ware was there anymore. But Lawrence was a guy, like, freakish athlete, got the size, the speed off the edge. We did a lot of zone read type concepts, and he was a guy that was tough to do that against because he would tackle both of us, me and the running back. Instead of like trying to pick one, he would pick both. And those guys are very rare.
Sound like Max Crosby.
I'm saying? Those guys are very rare. The Max Crosbys of the world, the Myles Garretts of the world, they can pick both. And you don't really want to be sitting there as a quarterback dead foot reading them too often because they'll just clothesline you like it's WWE.
Nah, for sure. Let's see picture 2.
Oh. I'm gonna say that is that
if you need them.
Thanksgiving 2012?
Thanksgiving.
Okay. Stat line was another 300-yard game. I think it was 320. 320, 304. Was it 3-1? 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, 2. 4-1. I'm cutting myself short.
You had you a day there, boy.
I had cut myself short a little bit. Oh, man. Sure.
You are 2-2 versus Tony Romo in your career. What do you remember about facing him?
Tony was always a scrappy player. Like today you got the Baker Mayfields, the Sam Darnolds, those guys that, Brock Purdy, as that can move around a little bit. They got moxie. That was Tony. Like, you always knew the Cowboys were going to be in most games that they played because of his ability to escape. I had a great moment with Tony after, not this game, but it was the game later in that same year when we beat them to go to the playoffs. And he had been getting killed by the media. Like, he's not a good quarterback. You remember that? So, after the game, I talked to him, and here I am as a rookie, not really knowing what to say or not to say. And I was like, hey, Tony, man, I just want you to know you're a much better quarterback than they say you are. And the way he looked at me was like, what is this rookie talking about? I was like, I'm just trying to support you, man. I know how hard it is to play the position, but it was fun. It was fun to play against him. and now basically be competitors in the booth calling games. Now it's pretty fun.
Yeah, for sure. Final picture.
Ooh, we got the brace on, so this got to be.
Got 3 hints for you.
That's got to be 2013. What's the hint?
Santana Moss was your wide receiver 1.
Okay.
Mr.
Moss. I definitely need another one.
All right, career high passing attempts in this game. 50 passing attempts.
50 passing attempts? Sheesh. Is this against the Packers?
Matthew Stafford was the quarterback you went against.
Detroit Lions.
Okay, there we go. All right, line.
I had 50 passing attempts against the Lions. God dang. 50? I got hit a lot in this game. I remember that. They had Ziggy, was it Ziggy Ansah, the DN? So 50 pass attempts, I'm going to say 280 passing.
Stop shorting yourself.
Okay. 320 passing?
326. All right, 326.
326. Okay.
0 tugs, 1 pick.
No touchdowns, 1 pick. Detroit Lions, man.
What do you remember about facing Matthew Stafford?
Arm talent.
Man, you got it.
Arm talent. Like, he got the same arm talent today that he had in 2013 in that game. And he's 37, Deebo. Like, that's tough.
He can throw it.
He can throw it off platform, on platform, in rhythm, off rhythm, on the run, off his back foot, no look passes. That's the one thing we got to be better about with Matthew Stafford. We love Patrick Mahomes and what he's been able to do, and I do think he'll eventually be the greatest quarterback of all time. But Stafford is the one who really originated the no-look pass and does it at least 5 times a game. So I got a lot of mad respect.
I played against him, man. I played against him.
What was your experience like with him?
Like I just said, we was just talking about NFC Championship game. Man, he was just, bro. He was throwing some throws that I'm like, bro, like somebody sack him or do something. Like it's just he's never rattled. Like he's comfortable. He like you just said, man. He can make every throw. His arm strength crazy, and you can just see what he's still doing now with him and Devontae and Puka and the rest of those guys. They playing real good ball right now.
Yeah, dangerous. Very dangerous.
Definitely is. All right, speaking of performance, you had a great rookie year. What you remember the most about that year?
What I remember the most was having the best left tackle in the history of football.
Okay,
Trent Williams. You know what I'm saying? Like Trent, we call him the silverback. And when I came into the locker room, it was him, London Fletcher, Santana Moss. We had Chris Cooley at the time at tight end. And there's a bunch of vets there who really just wanted you to earn it. You know what I mean? They were ready to win. Team hadn't won in a few years. And I just wanted to prove to those guys that I was worthy of being their quarterback. So that's what I remember most. And then we went on a run to win the division after starting 3-6, won 7 straight. So that was just a truly roller coaster ride of a rookie year that turned into pretty much a diamond.
Nah, for sure. What did you like the most about the team that year when you led the team to the title?
Yeah, just like the energy. You felt this. At times throughout your career, like every player is gonna say, "Man, our fan base is the best in the world," and especially when you're winning, right? But in DC, like there is something special about winning in Washington D.C. To the point where your team, when you go to the mall, like everybody's Drake. You know what I'm saying? That year, we would go to the mall. I go to the mall with Trent and my receivers, whether it be Santana, Leonard Hankerson, Pierre Garçon. And as soon as we stepped foot out the car, it was like, all the fans were there. And this wasn't a time when you were telling people where you were at, but they just like facial recognition, the want to be around the guys. It was truly a special feeling. I remember one time we went to the mall and it was me and 7 other teammates, Pierre, Trent was there. We had a bunch of D'Angelo Hall, our corner, was there with us. And there was like at least 3,000 people in the mall, all following us from store to store. It was a truly unique experience. And, when you win in DC, the fans love you. They love you more than the president of the United States. And like, That's the crazy part about it. I really enjoyed that with the team winning on the field, and then seeing everybody win off the field was really cool.
Nah, for sure, for sure. Kirk Cousins was drafted the same year you was in DC as well.
Yep.
What was the quarterback room like with him in it?
Yeah, see, like some people think like me and Kirk had beef or something like that, and we didn't. You know what? We did have some beef. The beef that we had was a Chipotle burrito in rookie minicamp. We came in and they had us room together, and for some reason we ordered 2 burritos from Chipotle, but they only gave us one.
Okay, how that go?
So we cut it. No, chill out, calm down. So we cut the burrito in half and we shared the burrito. We half the burrito. I'm very proud of Kirk for what he's been able to accomplish. I know a lot of people knock him, saying like he hadn't won the big games and he hasn't done this, hasn't done that. But for what he has done in his career and how he's changed his family's life, I'm very happy for him. I think he's made like some of the most money of any quarterback in NFL history. And he's, played on a couple different teams, but he's been the leader and he's had a long career. Injury shortened my career. And I know he had an injury a few years ago that looks like it might, wipe out the back half of his, but I'm very proud for him, proud of his, happy for his family that he's able to change their lives in the way that he has, and continue to get back to the game of football.
Nah, for sure. Speaking of Kurt, he took over the game for you after their injury in 2013 playoffs. Did you feel, how did you feel leading up to that game?
Yeah, I was pretty banged up. Going into that game, it had been a few weeks because I originally hurt myself against the Baltimore Ravens with Haloti Nada hitting me and tearing my LCL. And then in that game, I tore my ACL against the Seahawks. But going into it, I felt okay, and I tweaked my injury early in the game after like our second drive. We were up 14-0. And then at that point, Deebo, it's like it's fight or flight. You want to play, you want to be out there for your guys. You're trying to do everything you possibly can to put it on the line, because we don't know how many Sundays, Mondays, Thursdays, sometimes Saturdays we're going to get in the NFL. And I wanted to be out there and put it on the line for my teammates, and try to go out there and help them win the game. And I just wasn't able to do that. That decision, the decision to play wasn't the issue. It was coming back from the injury the next year too soon. In hindsight is the thing that I would definitely take back, but I'm always a guy that believes you try to put it on the line for your guys, and then you learn from your mistakes.
Oh, for sure. That's definitely how it is. We have seen several quarterbacks try to play through injuries. In your opinion, do you think you were good enough to play through it?
Oh man, that's like every guy, like Deebo, you've had injuries
for sure,
and you'd be like, am I as fast? Nah. Am I as strong? Nah. But can I get it done? Like the way that we're wired, we all think we're superheroes. And I think the biggest lesson that I learned was when you come back out and you step on that field, it's not just about what you think you can do. You need the team to take care of you, right? And protect you from yourself. But when you go out there, whatever is put on tape, that is what people see. They don't go back and watch the tape and say, "Oh, Deebo had a sprained ankle this game. Oh, Deebo had a broken collarbone in this game and he played through it." They don't say that. They just watch the tape and they say, "Oh, he doesn't look as fast. He doesn't look as strong. He didn't make that catch. He didn't do this. He didn't do that." And I think for me, I realized that. So I always advise players now, because I've been through it, Deebo, don't go out there and play if you're injured. If you're hurt, totally different story. Toradol pill, whatever it may be, it'll get you over the hump, right? But if you're injured, I was injured in Washington, so I wouldn't have, if I could go back and do it again, I wouldn't have played the rest of that year in 2012 down the stretch. I wouldn't have come back in 2013 and played as early as I did. I actually would have sat out the entire 2013 year just so I could get back healthy. There's a difference between stubbing your toe on the side of the bed, right, and breaking your foot.
Yeah.
You don't want to go play on a broken foot. You can stub your toe and keep going. So if you're hurt, play through it. If you're injured, sit out, get fully healthy.
Nah, for sure, for sure. You was drafted 2nd overall and won the Heisman. JD was drafted 2nd overall and won the Heisman. What do you like about his game?
I love everything about his game. Listen, I'm JD. I feel like I'm one of JD 5's biggest fans. Had a chance to call 2 of his games in college before he got to Washington, and I felt like him coming there, you obviously going there. He has a really great supporting cast, new owner, new head coach, new offensive coordinator, leaders like yourself, Zach Ertz, Eckler. Before he also got hurt, and also prayers up for Zach with his torn ACL. So I'm a huge JD5 fan. I think his ability to process, and you've probably experienced this, he can run, and everyone's like wowed by his ability to run, but his ability to get through his progressions, 1 to 2 to 3, a very smart player. He uses augmented reality and virtual reality to study blitzes and things. And I've had those conversations with him. I just love his poise and his demeanor, man. He's a guy's guy, and he's a great leader. So I don't have anything bad to say about him, other than I want him to get healthy and not be out there playing with 17 different ailments. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What advice do you have for JD5 as you go through his career?
Just to don't ride the roller coaster. It's for some reason in DC, the social media of it all, right? The fans, I feel like have been amazing. The media has gotten better on how they cover the team. But I see the tweet that you guys put up, because my feeling is he shouldn't play another game this season. It's not because you guys are just out of the playoffs. It's not because the record is bad. It's because he's had like 3 or 4 injuries that have popped up. Knee injury, hamstring. He dislocated his elbow. Then this past game got pushed down and re-injured that same elbow. It's like, at this point, the team, in my opinion, needs to protect him from himself, because this, Deebo, and we've seen it flying around. They're like, well, we don't want JD5 to become like RG3 did when my career got shortened by injury. He's not me. His situation is completely different than my situation was. But I think as a team, my advice to him would be, it's hard to do. It's hard to say, all right, I actually need to get healthy, because if I get pushed down and hurt myself, I'm not helping anybody. If I can't go out there and truly be myself, I should just be gearing up for next year. I can still be a leader. I can still be there for my teammates. But I think that the advice I have for Jayden is, don't allow the outside noise to necessarily affect how he leads and what he does and how he plays. But at the same time, my advice to the team and the Commanders would be, take care of your young quarterback. You need him for the future. You don't need him just for this upcoming Sunday.
No, for sure. After Washington and Cleveland, you played next door in Baltimore. Lamar Jackson was drafted to the team that same year. What was your time like in Baltimore, and what was it like being teammates with Lamar Jackson?
Well, I'll tell you this story. I don't think I've told anybody this one yet, but I got signed before Lamar was drafted. When we drafted Lamar with the 32nd pick, I believe it was 2018, like Steve Smith was on the NFL draft coverage, and I sent out a tweet, and I'm like, man, I can't wait to work with Lamar Jackson, because I knew at this point in my career, like, I was going to be a mentor type guy.
Yeah.
If I got a chance to play, I would go out there and do the best I could to get another opportunity to extend my career. But I knew what my role was in Baltimore. And I tweeted, I can't wait to work with him. And Steve was on the air and I'm watching at the house. And he said, they pulled up my tweet and he said, what you mean you can't wait to work with him? You about to get cut. And my heart dropped. I'm like, damn, am I gonna get cut? So the next day I go into work, and my quarterback coach, his name was James Urban. He pulled me aside, Deebo, and he said, I just want you to know that tweet last night saved your job. And he said there was some concern maybe that because we brought in Lamar, it would be too whatever. But you sending out that tweet, everyone in the organization saw it and realized that you were the best guy to help mentor Lamar Jackson because of what you had been through.
Nah, that's lit. That's lit right now.
When you talk about like a tweet saving your job, I never anticipated that, and that's not why I sent it out. I really am. I just truly wanted to work with Lamar, and I'm grateful I got 3 years with him. Baltimore showed me a lot, Deebo. You were in the organization in San Fran where they were about winning. I think you believe they did it the right way. Baltimore did it the right way. From the ownership all the way down, they showed me what it's supposed to be like in the NFL. Guys having each other's back, the organization having the players back, taking care of the players the right way. So I'm very grateful for that because John Harbaugh is the best NFL coach I ever played for.
For sure, for sure. After playing, you chose the media route, mainly doing college football coverage. Who or what got you into the media?
I didn't want to join the media, Deebo. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really didn't love the connotation, that's in like the locker room. Like you're doing this show, and there's been some shows that players have done that have been very controversial. But generally speaking, in the locker room, no one loves First Take or the debate shows because they feel like they're tearing down the players. So then when you're a former player, you go on those shows. Like I've been in those conversations with players and they're like, man, why is this guy over here tearing us down? He knows what it's like to be in this locker room.
Right.
Why is he doing that? So I didn't want to do that at all. So in 2017, I was out of the league for a year and I didn't do anything. I trained, I stayed ready. So when I was a free agent in 21, I told myself I wasn't going to not do anything again. So I went and I decided to do an audition with Fox. ESPN heard about my audition, brought me in for an audition and offered me double what Fox had offered me. And then boom, I was in the door calling college football games. And then in 6 months, I was on Monday Night Countdown doing the NFL type stuff. And what I realized quickly, Deebo, was you don't have to do it a certain way. You just have to be good at what you do. And I was very adamant in defending the players, very adamant in not creating false narratives about players. And that's why I think I was able to break through in the way that I did, because I always give people the real analysis, not just something that I know is going to go viral.
Right.
And it's not always liked. Don't get me wrong. Not everything you say is going to be liked, but you don't have to tear players down to try to get to where you want to be in the media.
Nah, for sure. Speaking of college football, the Heisman finalists just got revealed. Who is your Heisman pick and why?
Yeah, so I'm going to be honest with you, Deebo. I think it's a crime against humanity that Texas Tech linebacker Jacob Rodriguez is not in New York for the Heisman Trophy. I know everyone will say, hey, he's a linebacker. How many touchdowns did he score? I think Texas Tech has the best defense in the country, and he was a leader of that defense. His numbers are comparable and better than Manti Te'o's when he was a Heisman finalist. So Jacob Rodriguez was my pick to be in New York. I think based off the guys that went, Fernando Mendoza from Indiana, you got Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame, Diego Pavia from Vanderbilt, and Julian Sayin from Ohio State. I think it's very clear who is going to win the Heisman now, and it'll be Fernando Mendoza. I don't know if you saw his interview after the Ohio State game,
Yeah, I watched
but the
it.
guy was about to cry, right?
No,
Like
sure.
you could sense the emotion. Like, hey, we're the number one team in the country, undefeated. We're the favorite to win the college football playoff, and we just won the Heisman. Like it was overwhelming for him, and I think he will come out on top based off of who ended up going.
Who's your runner-up? Because I ain't gonna lie, that running back from Notre Dame, that boy that boy tough.
Ooh wee!
Like
Tough.
they kind of like I wouldn't say they treating it like the MVP award of the NFL, but should none quarterbacks be considered more for Heisman? We had Travis Hunter last year.
Yep. Yeah, no, I think you're spot on. I do think that there should be more positions represented at the Heisman Trophy ceremony. And speaking of that, I do also say we had Marcel Reed on our show, Out of Pocket with RG3 this week, and I think he should also have been a Heisman finalist, but with the year that they had at Texas A&M. But I think Jeremiah Love at Notre Dame, the way he finished the year, because if you looked at his numbers midway through the season, no one would have said, oh, yeah, he's going to be a Heisman finalist, because the Heisman is about the most exciting player in the country and the best player in the country. But there's a lot of great players that put up great numbers that never get an invite to the Heisman because they have 5 or 6 losses. So I always try to tell people you can't look at it in a vacuum. Like Notre Dame, but lost 2 games. So Jeremiah Love is going to be in the running, despite the fact that he's not the leading rusher in the country. So he had that spin move a couple weeks ago, and I think that spin move is what got him to New York. He spun his way all the way to New York, and he's a dynamic player. And his celebration, the love, breaking the hearts of these defenses is pretty sweet too.
Now it's time for the Don't Settle segment presented by State Farm. We talked about college football a little earlier. The bracket just got revealed. Everyone is talking about Notre Dame. But before we talk about Notre Dame, let's talk about Vanderbilt.
Okay.
I was in college. Vanderbilt was not it was not a good team. And the way that they was playing this year, only losing 2 games. There's a lot of good teams that only lost 2 games that didn't make it. And we sit here and look at Bama, who's lost 3, and Bama always got the advantage. I just think not only Notre Dame got snubbed, but there was a lot of good other teams that got snubbed as well.
Yeah, Deebo, this was the perfect year for expansion talk, right? If we had 16 teams get in, yes, there'd be some conversations about some of the 9-3 teams, but Vanderbilt gets in. You're talking about Notre Dame gets in, BYU gets in, Utah probably gets in as well. I think Vanderbilt, the way that they played and how exciting Diego Pavia is, a lot of people want them in the playoff. I think the weirdest thing was that the committee punished BYU for losing in the conference championship game with only 1 loss and didn't punish Alabama. And now Bama's got 3, BYU has 2. BYU's on the outside. No one's even talking about them except for me and a couple other people who are outraged about it. But Bama did get that SEC bias.
Nah, for sure. Who do you put Notre Dame over?
Yeah, I think you put in Notre Dame over Alabama. I saw the tweet up on the screen about Notre Dame deciding to not go to a bowl game. And Deebo, that decision isn't just about not being in the college football playoff. As you see there, I don't blame them for doing it. But where are bowl games played at? Like, the bowl game that they would have gone to was going to air on ABC and ESPN. So because of that, they don't want to benefit the network that they feel like kept them out of the playoff.
Yeah,
and
sure.
I don't blame Marcus Freeman and his team for saying, you know what, we're just not going to do it. We're not going to do it at all. And I respect it because they were very upfront about it.
Nah, for sure. For this segment, we're going to predict the college football playoffs. So we got first round, we got James Madison versus Oregon.
I'm very happy for James Madison getting into the college football playoff. I am picking Oregon in this game.
You got Alabama versus Oklahoma.
I'm going to go with Oklahoma. I think John Mateer is fully healthy now, and Oklahoma is going to get that win.
Tulane versus Ole Miss.
Going with Ole Miss, despite not having their head coach. I think all of their coaches are back, except for Lane Kiffin. So I think Ole Miss, Trinidad Chambliss, and Kawan Lacey pull it off.
Miami versus Texas A&M. I ain't gonna lie, kid Malachi Tony, man. That boy, hey, I'm a fan. I'm a fan for sure.
Hey, Malachi Tony is an absolute dog. I think that it comes down to, can my quarterback win this game in more ways than one? And that's why I'm going to go with Texas A&M and Marcel Reed.
No, for sure. Now, who you think is going to win the national championship?
Yeah, I think Texas Tech is going to win the national championship. And I say that because when they face Indiana, that defense for Texas Tech has the best pass rush in the country. Romello Height, David Bailey on the outsides, Lee Hunter in the middle. You got Jacob Rodriguez and Ben Roberts. Ben Roberts had 2 picks in the Big 12 championship game. They smother you out. They're big. They're physical. They got 2 running backs with Jacoby Williams and also Cameron Dickey out there, as I say, getting Dickey with it. And they got a veteran quarterback who can absolutely ball with 3 receivers outside and a tight end that George Kittle would absolutely love with the way that he can make plays. So I think the people are sleeping on Tech because they're so enamored with Indiana and Ohio State. But if Texas Tech is healthy going into that game against Indiana in the semifinals, I think that they're the ones that end up winning the national championship.
So do you think Texas Tech is the best team in college football?
I do. I do. I think they're the best team. I think they're the most complete team in college football because of all the reasons that I mentioned. And they're going to get tested against Oregon um, because Oregon is a team that, position by position, I don't know if anyone's recruited better than Dan Lanning at Oregon. So they're going to have ballers. It's just a matter of, do they have the experience to pull it off? And I think a lot of people are sleeping on Texas Tech because there's some bias towards the Big 12 where they don't think that the Big 12 teams can hang. And I think Tech is going to prove that wrong.
Okay, if it wasn't Texas Tech, who is your second team that you think would win it?
Yeah, second team for me would be Indiana. I have been saying all season long that I thought Indiana was the best team in the country and Texas Tech was the best defense. Now, with Indiana beating Ohio State the way that they beat them, Fernando Mendoza showing you that clutch gene that he has, Elijah Surratt. I think that um, Indiana has been the best team in the country, and now it's a matter of who's the best team as we go through these rounds. We're going to have 3-4 weeks off for some of these teams. How do they recuperate and get ready to roll? And that, to me, if it's not Tech, I would roll with Indiana.
All right, guys, there you go. RG3 bracket predictions. Now it's time for the Don't Settle segment presented by State Farm. We talked about QBs, both NFL and college, so let's talk about the best QBs in the NFL. We talked about Lamar Jackson. What other quarterbacks in the league have your attention?
Okay, so my top 5, I'll go at number 5 would be Jared Goff. I think Jared Goff doesn't get the love he deserves. Detroit Lions quarterback, efficient in the play action game. The Lions are always a threat with Jared Goff at the helm, and I think he deserves that respect. Number 4, I'm going with Matthew Stafford. We talked about him earlier. His arm talent, his ability to lead. I feel like he's healthier than he's been in the last 3 or 4 years, and it's showing on the field with Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua, and that two-headed monster running back they have right now with Blake Corum and Kyron Williams. Number 3, I'm going with Josh Allen. Now, I know some people might be upset that he's at 3, but let me tell you, Josh Allen is a beast. This is a very respectful number 3 ranking. I think he's a big guy, makes a bunch of incredible plays. You're never out of a game, no matter how much you're down, with Josh Allen at quarterback. Number 2, I'm going with Lamar Jackson. And I know Lamar has not had the greatest year this year, but I am giving these rankings based off of how I believe these guys have played over the past couple seasons. And Lamar is a guy that will figure it out down the stretch. I think the Ravens will make the playoffs, despite being 6-7 right now. And number 1, I'm going Patrick Mahomes. And this to me, it's going to take at least 5 years of somebody just absolutely outplaying Mahomes to remove him from that number 1 spot. Deebo, I feel like sometimes people get tired of greatness. You have these conversations with LeBron.
I played 2 Super Bowls against him and lost. I'm tired of
it. Like people get tired of greatness. Like LeBron James, they hate on LeBron. He's one of the greatest. I think he's the second greatest of all time. I'm a Jordan kid, so I'm always loyal to Mike. But people get tired of it and they start picking at it. So with Mahomes, I think people get tired of how great he is. He's still, in my opinion, is the greatest quarterback in the galaxy. And I'm sorry that you've had to play so many Super Bowls against.
All good. We mentioned Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford is in the MVP race. Do you think he should win or Drake May?
Ooh, that is a great question, Deebo. That's why you're doing what you're doing. All right. I think right now Matthew Stafford is in the lead for the MVP. And unless they stumble down the stretch, not too many games left the rest of this season. But the way that Drake May has turned around his career this year alone, Vrabel coming in as the head coach, giving that team an identity, and you see a different Drake May. I never saw this version of Drake May at North Carolina, and I called games for him at North Carolina. So I've been utterly impressed with his decision-making, his ability to make the off-schedule plays. If the Rams falter here in the last couple of games, I 100% could see Drake May winning the NFL MVP. But right now, I got to give it to the 37-year-old who's playing like he's 23, So.
All right, out of your top 5 list, I'm kind of shift back a little bit. Out of your top 5 list, who is an honorable 5 if you had to pick?
Oh, the honorable 5? Yeah. Baker Mayfield, I think, gets an honorable mention. Just been so impressed with the bounce back that he's had in his career. He's playing like Baker from Oklahoma. Chip on his shoulder, flag planting, like that Baker. He's fully bought back into that, and I love that for him. I would say Sam Darnold is an honorable mention there as well. I think that Sam, what he's been able to do in Seattle, him and Jackson Smith and Jigba have been dynamic, like out of this world. And I know Seattle's very happy and Minnesota's very upset that he is he is no longer there. Jordan Love, I think, would also get an honorable mention. I know it's been a little bit of up and down year for him and for the Packers at times. But I think he is certainly worthy of being a franchise quarterback. It's just hard to crack that top 5 when you have those names that have been in there so consistently. It makes it very difficult to make it.
Nah, for sure. But thank y'all for tuning in to this episode of Cleats and Convos presented by State Farm. Don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm. RG3, I appreciate you tuning in, brother.
Appreciate you, my guy.
Yes, sir.
Look forward to doing it again sometime soon.
All love.